Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
Yeah. What up, Ringsiders? It's your boy, the one and only, the founder. No Chano tonight. He got stuck at work. Or I guess really got called in at work. Mikey Cutlets may be joining us tonight. Nit Ram, also stuck at work. But I am with the one y'all love because he's keeping Kayfabe alive. The only one, Mr. Tino. My guy, what's going on?
Let's fucking do this, baby. Let's go, Marcus. What up, Ringsiders? It's good to be back for another week of pro wrestling talk. As the founder just said, the boys are a little busy tonight, but it's okay. That's why we added some Ringsiders here. It's the founder. It's the last keeper of Kayfabe. We have a lot to talk about, and I'm fucking psyched, baby. I am so psyched.
Sir.
It was a fun weekend of wrestling, like 5 straight days of wrestling. It was amazing.
Fun weekend of wrestling, but real quick, you just gotta let me get this off because we've had a really fun game last night, and our boys done took game 1, and I just want to say, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 6. I'm gonna take a 2-week vacation for Chano. You heard it here first, everybody. This is a Knicks dedicated podcast, except Mr. Tino is a Oklahoma City Thunders fan, sadly. But he's celebrating with us. He's celebrating with us.
I am. Look, if anyone should win, it has to be the Knicks. The Spurs beat up on my team. And at the end of the day, being from New York, New Yorkers, anyone who's a Knicks supporter, we deserve it. It's been a very long time. Most of us don't remember the last time we were there. So come on, let's get one.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We only need one. It's going to last us a decade,
forever. It'll last. This summer will be insane if the Knicks win.
No KC. Oh man, you're absolutely right though. We had a lot of wrestling this weekend. No comment to tease us.
No comment to tease. That was actually a bad joke, but it worked.
We did have an action-packed weekend of wrestling, an action-packed week of wrestling. Let's kick off with Saturday. Did you catch AAA Noche de los Grandes card?
Oh, Noche de los Grandes was, to me, the best night of wrestling between Friday till, I want to say, till Wednesday. I thought, if I had to say just really quickly, that Mask versus Mask, I think is definitely match of the year. There's no reason to why it shouldn't be. I know we're going to probably hit on some of the other matches on that card, but elephant in the room, man, that card, that Mask versus Mask had everything. The crowd was into it, the storytelling, Gable went from most hated to cutting that promo to being the most loved. It literally gave me goosebumps, and I'm like, they have to do something with Gable because this guy is fucking amazing. They failed him in the past with the Shawty G phase. We know what he could do in the ring. We know what the promos he could cut. That match was fucking amazing. That whole card was beautiful.
The whole card was beautiful. Let's start with the first match. We had Rey Fenix, Laredo Kid for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship, and I don't think surprisingly everybody was surprised Rey Fenix got the dub. Congrats to Rey Fenix for getting the dub. Definitely well deserved. Happy to see him do something within the WWE, let alone in his home country in Mexico. Yeah, really good for him to be champion. This match was really fun, really action packed. Flips all over. We got a comment over here from Mr. Kid Zero who says the reason Okada versus Takeshita, obviously. I'm not going to say that match was inspired by Okada versus Takeshita. I'm not going to say that. But I will say Ray Phoenix is your new AAA World Cruiserweight Champion. How do you feel about that right there?
Honestly, I'm happy for Ray Phoenix. He's obviously over down there in Mexico. I'm honestly surprised. Maybe forgive me, ringsiders, if I'm not too familiar with AAA, but they had amazing in-ring chemistry between Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix. I did not see either one of those superstars miss a step. Everything looked clean. Everything looked amazing. It was a fantastic opener for the show, as you mentioned, with the flips and the high energy. I'm happy for Ray Phoenix. I think it's a great partnership between AAA and the WWE thus far, just because it seems like they know how to make both talents over on both sides. And Ray Phoenix, I think, is the right choice. And Laredo Kid, even though he took a loss, he was champion for quite a while, so it's not going to hurt him too bad.
That is very true. I do agree with Kid Zero. Laredo Kid is probably NXT bound. Who knows when, but definitely be showing up. We had El Hijo del Vikingo verse El Hijo I should say, Dr. Wagner Jr. for the AAA Latin American Championship, where we had El Hijo del Vikingo win, finally getting some love back in AAA after not being a successful heel, in my opinion. But they're trying, they're pushing it. They're trying really, really hard.
It's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do think El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. though is main roster bound.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't be mad at that, because that match was also a very, very top tier match between two very good luchadores, honestly. And they obviously get to successfully continue this feud. I think there's still meat on the bone here between them, even though, they may be going to the main roster, they may be leaving the current place they're in. But this is just long-term storytelling, and I'm happy. I'm happy he caught the dub. It was a pretty good win.
A pretty good win. This was a mediocre tag team match. I'm not really too sure what was going on with the War Raiders and Pagano and Psycho Clown. We crowned new champions in the War Raiders. Pagano does do the heel move and turns on our guy, or my guy, I should say, Psycho Clown.
Yeah.
Third title change, and we're in the third match in.
And again, that's what made it exciting, and what I love about watching wrestling. Like, my thing when I watch wrestling, I like to watch it live, because I don't like to get spoiled with results. I like to be in the moment, and the crowd was into it. That match was I felt like maybe served as kind of like a palate cleanser kind of thing. But the main point of that match was just for the breakup of that tag team. It was a chaotic match, a bruising match between them. But I will say it was good to see the War Raiders. I haven't seen them in a while, to be quite honest. I kind of forgot about them. But it was good to see them in the ring again. Hopefully I keep seeing them. Ivar is a freaking star, as we all know. So
yeah, hopefully they can turn the War Raiders gimmick big in Mexico. And
I would think so. Have them kind of as like the foreign invaders kind of thing, like, I don't know. I think
it can make it work. It can make it work somehow, some way.
Yeah,
let's talk about the
I
main
don't see
event.
why not.
Main event. This is the match that everybody was really waiting for. This could have been on. It could have been on Clash. It could have been on WrestleMania. It could have been on any PLE. It could have been on Double or Nothing. We would have pulled up for this match too. You know what I mean? You could have had this anywhere, and everybody was going to tune in for it. El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano does defeat original. I think everybody saw that coming, and a lot of people asked why. And the best, not even why, you guys. Let's just be real. Ludwig Kaiser took that gimmick and ran with it. You know what I mean? He ran with it, and being fluent in Spanish, like that right there was the dagger in the back to Chad when he came back. I've heard Chad said he learned Spanish. What?
He was on Duolingo every day. What the hell?
Right. How did he do it so fast?
This is insane.
Kaiser's doing great things, and this match, who was produced by Pete Dunne. This from start to finish, from the entrances to the pinfall to even Chad saying goodbye and then saying this is not the last you'll see of me, which I love that he said that.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Let me get your full breakdown on this match.
Oh man, I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it off the air. That has to 1000% be at least consideration for match of the year. It was so simple, but it worked and it was amazing. Like you said, we all knew the outcome. We all knew what would happen. But the storytelling was in the ring to rip just enough of the mask to expose the face for it to be blood. And there's not a mask versus mask match without any blood, if anyone is familiar with those kind of matches. And seeing Gable give him the bloody mask, like it's yours now, but I will always be the original Grande Americano, which is at the end of the day, it's true. And I mentioned it earlier. I hope they do something with Chad. We all know what he could do in the ring. He reminded us of what his promo could do. I love the Alpha Academy. I love the work that he did with Otis and Tozawa and Maxine at the time. But let's not waste any more of his time, right? We're all on borrowed time. Everyone's aging. He is a performer at a high level. The body breaks down differently. Let's enjoy him while we can. I personally think, I'm eager to hear what you think, Marcus. I personally think he should remain in AAA, much like Kaiser is most likely going to remain in, the new El Grande Americano will remain in AAA. I think Gable could get over. He was hated, and that promo instantly made him loved. Old reference, but it still works. Kind of reminded me of I believe Rocky 3 when he fought the Russian, and he beats him, and like the crowd ends up cheering for him. It literally reminded me of that, but I seen it like in real life. Like that was fucking awesome.
Right. You know, part of me wants him to go back to the main roster because I feel like, in a weird sense, man, I feel like we were robbed of Chad, and then let alone Mexico was also robbed of Chad. You know what I mean? Because he got hurt. I feel like he was doing good things with the whole Alpha Academy and leaving them and then starting his own thing and creating a more serious Alpha Academy. And then, the El Grande Americano stuff happens. And then at first it was corny, and then at first it was like, nah, this is actually smart. This could work. This could work. And then he got hurt. I would like to see him come back. I would like to see him chase world titles on the main roster. I think he's the baby face that we can use if Cody decided to take a break. I think he's also a great baby face to chase Roman. I think he has the charisma and the fan base to be like, hey, Chad's that guy. Like you said, we know we know his work. We know he could do in and everything out of the ring. He can cut a promo. He could be funny. He could be serious. I would be excited to see a Chad Gable in the main event scene. But if it's AAA for the time being, just to get his reps in, that's cool. If he wants to do luchador wrestling, I don't think the luchador wrestling really suits his style because he's such an American wrestler.
Yeah.
So main roster. That's what I would love to see. Main roster.
Main roster. It's a good argument. I will say though, to me, although it's a completely different style, the lucha libre to literally American style wrestling, I think that's what makes that amazing. Much like the War Raiders, I think at the moment, unless they're really trying to fix the tag division in the main roster and Raw, SmackDown, I think you utilize this collaboration you have with these other companies such as AAA to build some of your stars. And Gable and the War Raiders, I think, fit that criteria because NXT, NXT isn't for those guys. So you keep them down there in that environment and they'll thrive.
In a sense, I see where you're coming from, but for the War Raiders, it's easier, right? Because they're meteor men. They're the bigger, huskier guys. They don't need to worry about doing the flips. So they're there for the big impacts, the power bombs, and the big splashes, maybe a corner spot and the big hits. Where for Chad he's the same size as these luchadors.
Yeah.
So for them to slow down in their home, I don't know. I don't want to say Chad can't do it. Because obviously he's doing it. You know what I mean? He's obviously doing it. And he could obviously keep up. But something just tells me Chad just coming back home, maybe get in with Otis again and just really figuring himself out, or whatever he's gonna do with the Creed brothers and Ivy, whatever it is, just really honing down and just like locking in. Or maybe not even being in a faction or a group. Just like,
Yeah,
nah, I need
I was
to,
gonna say, no faction.
I need to do this by myself. I need to lock in real quick.
Yep.
I need to go.
Yep.
I need to tell myself that I am him. And you know what? I know Chana wants Sami Zayn to be world champion, but 2026, 2027, Chad Gable, I want to be world champion.
Book it. I agree.
Is what I'm here for.
I agree. I 1000% got the pen already in hand. I am co-signing that. I 1000% agree. Gable, I've always been a freaking fan of him, and every now and then when I watch some of my old wrestling, he made it work. I mentioned the name Shotty G. He made it work with the freaking bandana and just doing what he was doing at that time.
Mhm.
Like he made, like, my thing is what to me, what makes you a top tier superstar is when you can make something work and it's over. That's not easy, because especially now, maybe the last 5-10 years, us wrestling fans are so much smarter now that it's like it's hard to really sell us on what you're trying to sell us. So the
Right.
fact that we keep buying into Gable, it's like, this guy's a fucking superstar. Is this it, like, I don't know if this is a bad reference, but Theory. I want to buy into Theory. I think Theory's amazing, but there's something there that I'm kind of like, I don't know. And it's tough as a wrestling fan to buy into a superstar. And that's all I'm trying to say. And right now, Gable, right now his name is hot. His match it's everything is hot because of the relevancy. It's relevant. So strike while the lightning's in the bottle.
Man, I agree with you. And look, we got certain people chasing a title, and let's not forget, Chad Gable had a good 7 matches with that person for Intercontinental Championship, to the point where I think people were like, "Hey, man, put the title on him. Like, forget the streak. Put the title on Chad Gable."
Yep.
Just saying, man. Tina, I know you were on the socials, bro, and everybody was saying it, man. Everybody's been saying it. This is match of the year. Do you agree with them? Now, we were in the building at dawn. We saw Takeshita versus Okada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we saw Will Ospreay, Samoa Joe. Nah, that match was better. That match was
really good.
But right now, Takeshita Okada. Oh, Swerve Bandito was wild too.
That match is, I always say, because that match is still in my head, bro. That match is still there. It's like right here. that match was, shit. Okada, Takeshita, Gable. If you had, life on the line, who do you pick? Tell me right now. And I was there live, y'all. But that Mask versus Mask match was truly, truly amazing. Gable had an entire country hate him and then love him. That's not easy. That's not easy. We don't have to talk about the match work, but just the promo. He didn't get booed out the building. I was surprised. His promo after that actually put him over, and they were cheering Gable. And he walks off with his family, and it was beautiful. That was a top tier quality match, and it's one of those matches that I could watch over and over again. Much like Takeshita, I think, depending on what this last half of the year brings us with all these wrestling matches going on, those 2 matches will definitely be head to head, fighting it off to see who wins that award.
I agree with you. I think these are the 2 top matches of the year so far. We do have another 6 months to go. Like Rick said, the Mask versus Mask, the Mask versus Mask match is probably one of the best matches I've seen on television. The Okada versus Takeshita match is probably one of the, I'm going to say, the second best match I've probably witnessed live, because I truly believe me watching Takeshita versus Will Ospreay is the greatest match I've ever watched live. So, man, I don't know. The Mask versus Mask, it was just such a good match, bro. I've never been so locked in on YouTube the way I was locked in for this match, man. I mean, it was just so good. even after it was like, all right, he won, you can go to bed. It was like, nah, I gotta see what he's gonna say.
Yeah,
Gotta see what he's gonna say.
yeah,
Now, now,
and
now, I
so
will
did the
say,
rest of the
Grande
people
Mary.
in
I
that
will say,
building.
Ludwig's girl. She was not selling it for me though. She didn't look sad enough. There wasn't enough tears. I needed more tears. I needed the waterworks.
More
But
selling from her. We need more
but this
selling.
match was a really really good main event.
Mm-hmm.
It was if you took this match, it's like one of those things where it was just like, oh, this match right here saved the entire card, and it was only 4 matches on the card. You know what I mean? It's just like that's
And the crazy thing is about it is like the card wasn't bad. Like maybe like I mentioned earlier, the phrase palate cleanser for the War Raiders match. It was still entertaining. It wasn't like a bad match. All those matches, there were so many title changes. It was, bro, my thing when I watch wrestling, for me personally, I love the crowd engagement. If the crowd is sitting on their hands and it's a fucking 35-star match, I'm not really into it. Cause like this guy hits like a move and this move and the crowd is just kind of there. Like those people made me way more invested than almost anything I've seen for a minute, and that's kind of including some of the old wrestling I've seen.
what's sad is like not even sad. It's dude, Triple Mania is not going to be able to top a match on this card.
No, I don't think so at
It's
all.
going to be
Unless
really hard for them to have a better match on Triple Mania than the Mask vs. Mask match.
those boys got to work, and I tell
Unless
you,
unless it's El Grande versus Dom, which obviously would cook
oof.
because you know it's Dom. But it's going to be really hard for AAA to beat this match for the rest of the year.
I seen earlier. I wasn't too aware of it. I believe Triple Mania is on Friday in Vegas and Sunday in Mexico. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's 2 nights, 2 nights, two different countries. I don't know
So
how
I
they're gonna make
find,
that work.
yeah, I find that pretty interesting. Just and I'm only bringing that up because you mentioned that what match could top that. I think we see what fan base is more passionate. This being in Vegas again, a AAA matchup. Honestly, my money's more on Mexico. Those people being a little bit more invested, I think they'll make it feel way more entertaining, way more of a better match value. If they were to do El Americano versus Dom or a match of that magnitude, it would be Sunday in Mexico. I think Friday is just kind of more of the cash grab, just kind of have some high flying stuff, some entertainment stuff. But Sunday night is the night.
I think I also heard El Hijo did the Dr. Wagner Jr. got injured Saturday night. So if he did, I hope he gets well
Oh
soon.
man,
I really
prayers,
hope
man.
so.
Injuries suck, bro. Whenever it comes to any injury, whether if it's a minor, major in the sport of pro wrestling or any other sport, I'm always so sad about it. Like it's like because you don't know how they'll bounce back, and then there's always that thing in
Mhm.
the back of your mind, like maybe they're a little off. Even if they're amazing, it's like maybe they're a little off. So hopefully, he's good, and many prayers and wishes to him, man. Hopefully, it's nothing crazy, just like a bruised toenail.
100%. Overall, my guy, what do you rate the 4-card matchup?
Overall, everything considered, and I'm not giving it a full 10 only because of the War Raiders match, 9.6. I'm gonna be that guy.
Okay, nice. 9.6 is not bad. 9.6 is not bad. I like 9.6. I'm gonna go 8. I think it was an 8, solid 8.
What took away at least a rating for 9? Maybe not the reason for the 10, but for the 9.
The tag team match. The tag team
Yeah.
match.
Yep. Agreed. Same. It was the tag team match. Again, it was cool, but it was one of those things that's like, yeah.
It is like you could have did this on regular TV.
Agreed.
Hey, we got a video from our friends out there in Mexico who gave us their thoughts on Saturday's card. Let's take a listen.
My friends from four sides of the ring, thanks so much. Appreciate it. You see all the people. The event already finished, but trust me, was a crazy thing. The watch party never been better. What are the takes that I can tell you? What are the takes that I can tell you from this night? First of all, The match from Rey Fenix, it was awesome. To be honest, Fenix really worth it to be a champion. As well, Hijo del Vikingo. Hijo del Vikingo is one of the most underrated wrestlers that put some 5-star matches all the time. War Raiders, it was good, but it feel bad that Pagano, turned on Psycho Clown. And last but not least, El Grande Americano fight was awesome. To be honest, since the moment the match started, we knew that we were seeing something special, something different, something atemporal, something crazy. And you can see it over here, all the people celebrating. You will see the videos that I will send you there. Man, it was crazy. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Thanks so much for the time. This is Mo representing Lucha Adictos, amigos, and viva, viva El Grande Americano. Because remember, El Grande Americano, there's just only one Grande Americano.
Oh my, bro! Shout out to Mo, bro.
Shout out to Mo, bro.
Shout out to Mo. Me and Marcus met Mo at Double or Nothing. He's such a cool guy, bro. That is fucking amazing, bro.
He sent me another clip of the watch party. Let's check this out right here. That was the moment when Rey Fenix became AAA World Cruiserweight Champion in that opening match.
Yo, I need more friends. I need more friends like Mo. I need friends so we could just set up a venue somewhere in Fordham, somewhere here in a random barber shop, and we got Coronas and Heinekens. We got the hookah, and we just fucking watch it. Bro, that looks so fun, bro. They're missing a few key elements. I didn't see no booze or I don't know, but it looks cool.
Maybe Four Sides of the Ring got to set up a watch party one year and very soon. Who knows?
Book it.
Who knows? Book it. We're going to take a small break, but when we come back, we're going to jump into Chano's favorite segment, Knowledge with the Keeper of Kayfabe. But we'll be right back.
Wrestling fans, I finally did it. I launched my very own pro wrestling coloring book on Amazon. It's packed with bold action-style wrestling pages, championship belts, entrances, arenas, characters, and moments made for fans to color their way. Whether it's for kids, collectors, wrestling families, or anyone who grew up loving the larger-than-life world of pro wrestling, this book was made with fans in mind. So if you want a fun gift, a creative activity, or just something different for the wrestling fan in your life, search the Pro Wrestling Coloring Book on Amazon today. Color the action, create the moment, and support independent wrestling creativity. Search the Pro Wrestling Coloring Book on Amazon now and help bring this project to the top rope.
Yes, sir. The Pro Wrestling Coloring Book. Go search it on Amazon. Go buy it. Support your local wrestlers and support your local indies. Everybody, let's jump into Mark your calendar.
Oh, all right, folks. It is another segment of Marking Your Calendar. So I want to welcome you back to Marking the Calendar. This is the part of the show where we dig through wrestling history like a shorty with a BBL, checking to see if she missed a spot. Every episode, we're going to go back in time and ask, who approved this? Who survived this? And occasionally, is that a prosthetic foot? Who cleared this? Today, we're going to stop the clock on June 4th, a date that gave us one of the toughest human beings wrestling has ever produced, a mystery so ridiculous it turned Kane into Batman, and a champion collecting belts like he was chasing the Infinity Stones. So let's tighten up them knee pads, hide your motorcycles, and if Kenny Omega asks to borrow one of your championship belts, just tell him no. He's already had enough. Our story is going to start in Texas with Kerry Von Erich. And hey, yo, that Von Erich family story is basically AP. Everybody got a crazy to crazier story. You talk to one person, they tell you something wildly outlandish. You talk to the next person the following day or the day later, and somehow the story just gets worse on some Final Destination type shit. And unfortunately, that's where Kerry comes in. On June 4th, 1986, Kerry's life would change forever after a horrific motorcycle accident. And when I say horrific, I mean the kind of accident normal people spend the rest of their lives telling the story. But Kerry, though, Kerry looked at that injury and treated it like a scheduling conflict, because eventually the doctors did have to amputate part of his foot. But bro still goes back to wrestling. I stubbed my toe on the corner of the bed. Next thing I know, I'm negotiating with the big man himself. This dude lost part of his foot and added a piece to his pride like only a goddamn man from the late 1980s can. We're talking a career-killing accident that actually didn't end his career. A few years later, he would show up in the WWF as the Texas Tornado. He wins the Intercontinental Championship and somehow turns a story that should have been the end into one of his biggest accomplishments of his career. I think our biggest takeaway here, y'all, is wrestlers are just different. They're not tougher, they're different. Because that's not toughness anymore. That's the kind of shit that makes doctors quit asking questions. Unfortunately, Kane was about to ask enough questions for everybody. Because 3 decades later, we're going to head over to Lubbock, Texas on the June 4th edition of Friday Night SmackDown. Kane was about to spend the entire summer as a masked up Bruce Wayne, and it was a pretty awkward time if you ask me. Jack Swagger is the World Heavyweight Champion, and somehow that's not even the weirdest thing happening on the show. The Straight Edge Society is still running wild. CM Punk is out here acting like the friend who suddenly got their life together and won't shut the fuck up about it. The type that becomes a family man and every conversation somehow turns into life advice. Taino, don't buy this, buy that. Taino, real men don't wear glasses. Taino, what do you mean you white from front to back? I'm sorry for getting a little personal, but those were the vibes Phil was giving off. And Kane has officially entered his Dark Knight detective arc because somebody attacked The Undertaker. And because The Undertaker was out of the picture, SmackDown needed somebody to take his spot in the upcoming Fatal 4-Way for the world title match. So they had a battle royal. Winner gets added to the match, and somehow out of all this chaos, Rey Mysterio survives and earns the opportunity, which ends up being important later because Rey was quietly putting together one of the best runs of his career. And now Kane's entire personality is basically, where's my brother? Who attacked my brother? Which sounds intimidating until you realize Kane was asking questions like a baby mama that already knows the answer. Every week it was, where were you? What did you see? Who was there? Why are you acting nervous? And the whole time you're just sitting there like, shorty, if you know this much already, why are you asking me? At a certain point, it just felt like Kane had access to somebody's text history or something. Just looking angry and suspicious, kind of looking like the person who probably would have done it. The whole audience was probably like, yeah, it was you. Again, just like the guy who would probably steal your bread and help you look for it right after. Meanwhile, while all that is going on, Rey Mysterio is stuck dealing with CM Punk and the Straight Edge Society, which in my opinion is one of the best rivalries of that era. Because Punk wasn't just trying to beat Rey, he was trying to fix him. Not cut his balls off fix, but like Rey was a broken phone or some shit. And that's what made it work. Everybody loves Rey. And we all know somebody like Punk. 2010 SmackDown was legitimately entertaining because everybody felt like somebody you already knew. Just one giant collection of people making Kane increasingly nervous. Like the train station on 125th and Lex. I fucking hate that station. 11 years after Kane spent that entire summer more heated than the sun trying to figure out who attacked The Undertaker, the wrestling world was chefing up a different problem. Because now we're going to head to 2021. When Kenny Omega was collecting championships the same way Pete Davidson was collecting dimes. Nobody understood the math, but the numbers didn't lie. And those numbers bring us to Jacksonville, Florida, where a night of AEW Dynamite felt more like an inventory count of Kenny Omega's championship collection. He just wasn't the AEW champion. Bro, he was collecting belts from everywhere. Fucking Impact, AAA, AEW. It was like every time I was looking over my shoulder, this man had another championship over his. Eventually, it stopped looking like a title reign and started looking like a side quest. Like he was just trying to 100% complete professional wrestling. And that's what made this version of Kenny so fucking entertaining. Meanwhile, Don Callis is standing right next to him, acting like the most annoying hype man. The type of friend that could talk you into robbing a bank and somehow apologizing to him afterwards. And while Kenny was busy assembling Exodia, Jungle Boy was quietly becoming one of the hottest acts in the company. He was teaming up with Christian Cage. They beat Private Party in a not-so-private setting. He caught Marquette in a snare trap and left them with no other option but to tap. Jungle Boy was stacking up wins, inching closer to a shot at that AEW championship himself. And on this particular night, it wasn't just Kenny showing off that championship gold. Fresh off Double or Nothing, Britt Baker was celebrating her AEW World Championship win over Shida, which means AEW at that time suddenly had two very different champions. Brett looked like somebody who finally achieved her dream, while Kenny looked like somebody else's nightmare. One was enjoying the moment, while the other was busy becoming it. Together, they spent most of 2021 treating championships gold like Philly treated STDs back in the day. And honestly, it was one of the most unique championship runs that I think I've seen in years. Every championship Kenny carried made it a little harder to argue otherwise, which is kind of unfortunate because Don Callis never stopped talking long enough for anyone else to try. And while Kenny spent 2021 trying 100% complete professional wrestling, I spent a chocolate chip cookie, a glass of milk, and a pretty extensive Google research to find these candle blowers so we could talk about on their birthdays. So before we close this vault, June 4th does have some birthdays. A big shout out to Gorilla Monsoon, one of the most important voices wrestling has ever had. This man caught countless legendary moments and somehow managed to sound professional while being surrounded by complete nonsense. For half of his career, he was pretty much doing commentary equivalent of babysitting, except the children with 300-pound men known to throw tantrums. A happy birthday to Mikey Whipwreck, an ECW original and living proof that hard work does pay off. Homie went from helping set up the ring to becoming the ECW champion. That's inspirational. It's also a reminder that ECW occasionally hired people the same way New York Deadies hires employees. If you stand around long enough, eventually somebody hands you a responsibility. The next thing you know, you're covering a shift at a place you hate. And a happy birthday to John Silver, one of the funniest personalities in wrestling today. He's fucking strong as hell, entertaining as hell, and somehow built like a travel-sized Solomon Grundy. And that is why we keep marking our calendar. Because wrestling is the only business where a man can lose part of his foot and come back and keep fighting. Another man spent the entire summer investigating a crime he somehow looked guilty of himself. And another man collect championships like he was trying to complete professional wrestling. And honestly, that's probably why we love it. One day it's inspiring, one day it's confusing, and one day it's a grown man walking around with so many belts that neighborhood children suddenly develop manners. But somehow, it all happened on the same day. June 4th. My name is Taino, the last keeper of kayfabe. I'll catch y'all next week for another trip through wrestling history. Until then, let's keep marking them calendars.
Keep marking those calendars. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kane did look guilty.
I
was like, bro, you doing a little too much investigating, bro. You gonna find it was you.
At the end of the summer, it turned out it was Kane, and it was kind of like, yeah.
Teasus was messing. Hey, actually, Teasus, we gonna need a marking your calendar intro.
Oh, Teasus, are you there?
We might have to hit up our guy right there, Teasus, who does our intro for Sides of the Ring. Check him out on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music.
Oh yeah.
My guy, we had Clash in Italy Sunday.
Oh, Clash.
Just real quick. In your opinion, before we jump into the card, was it better than AAA Saturday?
Not even close. Not even close.
Fair enough.
I think the best match on that card, in my opinion, was the Roman match. Okay. Even though it was a bit chaotic.
Very chaotic.
However, I enjoyed the Roman match more than any. The Brock match was cool with Oba, 7F5s and all that. But no, definitely AAA. And it was like, what, one or two less matches? So definitely way better. Undertaker is cooking down there. I think it's him and Jeremy Borash. So they're down there cooking.
That's very true. Let's jump into it. Cody Rhodes, Gunther. Undisputed WWE Championship. Poopy face Cody Rhodes. I'm sitting there watching this match. I'm like, come on, let's just throw the title on Gunther.
For real,
the title on Gunther.
Just give it to Gunther.
Just give it to Gunther. Let's have some fun this summer. Give me Gunther, Drew McIntyre. Give me Gunther, whoever besides Cody Rhodes.
Listen,
you know what I mean? Like it could just work. Gunther, a returning Chad Gable. Like Gunther talking about who's gonna beat me. Who's gonna beat me at SummerSlam? Chad Gable or me?
It writes itself. It writes it. I agree with that. That writes it. I actually fucking agree with that. You put the title on Gunther, even though I was saying you keep Chad down in AAA. If you bring him over to the main roster against Gunther as champion, doesn't mean Gable has to win. You don't want that title to start bouncing around now, but you make it mean something for Gable. You make it credible also for Gunther, and then on top of that, it's long-term storytelling, and it's not even that long-term. It's like a year, 2 most. It's like it's still kind of relevant in our minds.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. You can make it work with Chad Gable. Is he from Minnesota?
I believe he is.
Hometown?
It could work.
Chad Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship?
I will say,
night 1 or night 2, whatever you want to throw that in there.
Throw it in there. Gable proved and reminded everybody on Saturday that he's that guy. At the end of the day, I want to say I'm not a performer. I'm not going to act like I know what it is to be a professional wrestler. But I feel that maybe 90% of any roster could go, especially if you're in the WWE, AEW, because those like the big umbrellas. If you're there, then you could fucking go. It all comes down to the booking. Give him proper booking, make a proper story, and let that man work. Because you try to give him shit, and he made it work not only for him, but for Kaiser and for a couple of other superstars, since there's other little Americanos involved as well.
I'm just hear me out. I'll fantasy book real quick because I don't fantasy book like that. But what if Gunther would have won at Italy? We build the story between all of a sudden this rivalry with Chad Gable. It goes into SummerSlam at Minnesota. Gable wins. So shocks the world. Gable wins, right? He finally did it. He got the one. He got the one on Gunther. Maybe it wasn't Intercontinental, but it was the World Heavyweight, right? Now you have a pissed off Gunther who's trying to get his title back. You have a pissed off Cody Rhodes who's been trying to get his title back, but now he can't because now he's got to get through Gunther because now Gunther has this rematch. You can use Chad Gable to turn Cody Rhodes into the heel everybody wants him to be.
I fucking like that.
Because we all love Chad Gable.
We all love Chad. And the people are itching to hate Cody.
Itching.
We're itching. We just need a reason.
And if you go against the American guy that we all love right now,
the Olympian,
over some greed, some gold. I mean, it's been fuck you, Cody Rhodes, but fuck you, Cody Rhodes.
No, I agree. Cody Rhodes is one, like, if he misses like throwing a paper like into the trash and hits the floor, like boom, he's a heel. Like we're ready just to pop and hate this guy. But it's tough to hate Cody because a majority of the WWE fan base is kids, and it's like parents with their kids. So I guess they kind of cheer along with them. They're not gonna like curse them out at like a WWE show with their little kid there. So live on Raw when Cody's around, I'm sorry, on SmackDown when Cody's around, he's getting some of the loudest cheers in the building. So he needs to do something significant. And I agree. I think something like Gable, if he beats up Gable because he's jealous and upset, and maybe even beats up Gunther, because like I think at this point us as fans respect Gunther's work so much that like, yeah, we hate him because he's a heel, but like we also fuck with him. Like he's your old school heel. Like anybody like a channel or most wrestling fans who don't watch old wrestling, just watch a Gunther match. That's most wrestling like from the 80s and 90s. Is what Gunther's doing. It's like just stiff, just fucking just stiff. So Gunther's stiff but safe. So it's fun to watch Gunther matches, and I love that booking.
Mr. Kizero says Gunther should have won the match with Brock's win over Oba. He challenges Gunther at SummerSlam, and Gunther makes it title versus career. Keep it Gunther, the career killer. I like the fact that you want Gunther to retire Brock, but we got to run Brock Oba again. You know what I mean? Oba's going to retire Brock. This is where this is going. I don't think Brock wants to get retired by Gunther, and I don't blame him. You don't want to go out like that. That's fine. But if you want to go out to Oba Femi, by all means.
I can see why maybe Lesnar would say that. Oba's younger than Gunther, so it would make sense if he's gonna go out on his back to go out to the younger guy who has more longevity. So I could see why Lesnar would do so. However, they do need to do something with Gunther. Uh, he was hot, and I don't think he's as hot anymore. So. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of the ref missing the rope, the foot under the rope. I could have done without that, but that's just me.
They love me. I don't know. I like Gunther's theme song. It's that type of like who the fuck is playing this? Like look at me. I'm coming out.
Yeah.
Look at me. You know what I mean? Like who the fuck this guy thinks he is? You know. So I think he is the right entrance music.
And that entry, that entrance music screams like ring general. It's like literally marching down, and he's the ring general. He just comes down and fucks you up.
We had Rhea Ripley defending her title against Jade Cargill. We had Rhea winning in this match, this rematch, WrestleMania rematch. That could have been a Backlash rematch that they pushed to Clash. You know what? Maybe we just didn't need the rematch. Maybe sometimes titles don't need to have rematches. Just tell the person who lost, hey, sorry, you don't get it. Not everybody gets recalls around here.
It's so funny. Some titles don't deserve rematches, but then some do, because it's like, bro, this guy should probably get a rematch. He did beat him before. I will say it was a few moments of that matchup that was a little awkward, a little bit messy, especially when the interference started happening between B-Fab and Michin and Flair. Charlotte Flair obviously getting a major pop. I will say, besides a few botches, right? I don't want to nitpick, but it was way better from Jade. I will say Jade did way better. I do think she's growing. Obviously, her tangling along with Rhea helps because they got that familiarity. But it wasn't a margarita match. I was invested mostly for Jade to see how she would do, and I wasn't disappointed. That's I guess I'll leave it at that. I wasn't disappointed with
Wasn't disappointed, but definitely I still feel like she can go to NXT and benefit.
I agree.
I think she can go to NXT and benefit because she's not I just feel like she's not benefiting from the main roster, and we're seeing more of her flaws than of actually how talented she could really be. And I think if she went down to NXT and worked with those girls down there, we wouldn't see as much of the flaws.
It's tough because from what I'm aware of, I believe she trains a lot with Mark Henry, and he's one of the trainers. And we all know how great Mark is. Maybe it's a different style of training, and NXT I think would definitely be beneficial, because as we all say, I call it kind of like the airport test, to where like Jade, she passes that, like she's the type of woman, and they have other WWE superstars who like they walk and might not know what they do, but you're like, that person is a somebody, and that's Jade, and that's why she's on the main roster. However, it needs to be cleaned up because it's World Wrestling Entertainment. However, when you're on the big stage like that, you do need to clean some of the simple stuff up. That's all. It's just tough critique. We love Jade, loved her in AEW, love the fact that she's still wrestling in a big stage, but some things just need to be worked on. That's all.
Yeah, clean it up, and you'll be fine.
Agreed.
Brock Lesnar answered Oba Femi's open challenge. What was it? 7 F5s. They're 1-1 now. Brock Lesnar wins. What was crazy was the 4 consecutive F5s, and then my man Oba just said, nah, bruh. You gonna need to do more than that to beat me. And he did. Brock Lesnar defeated the ruler. Does this take away from Oba?
It doesn't. Oba fucking 8 4s, 5 6 7 F5s and was still doing his thing. So it's like, and Lesnar was generally scared. Like, I love Lesnar's selling. Like when he had the way he ran to the ring after he got the F5 on the announce table, Lesnar was like on the rope, like, what the hell? And Oba's just like standing there. So it doesn't hurt Oba at all. I will say, this is just me nitpicking, so I apologize. Matches like this kind of frustrate me because I get it. I understand what they're doing. However, certain fans like myself who watched NXT and watched Oba in NXT, he lost to Ricky Saints. I forget the name of Ricky Saints' finisher, but it's like the spinning DDT. It was one time, clean finish. And again, I get it, different audience, less, whatever. But when I see something like that and I see something like 7 F5s, it's kind of like, where did he get this other power from? He lost to a guy who's like 300 pounds lighter than him from like a spinning DDT. He just ate 7 F5s from Brock Lesnar, and he's like getting up like nothing. And again, I get it. It works. I like it. However, that's the only thing with wrestling where I'm kind of like, I wish they could fix that up. But again, it's just nitpicking. It was a good match.
When he kicked out of when he kicked out of that F5, I said, what in the AEW? That doesn't happen over here. Moment 3 is supposed to happen. What is going on?
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true.
I was a little confused. I was like, what am I watching? No, but shouts out to Brock. Brock Lesnar looks good, man. You know, I know trying to be hating on the age. I know he's a little bit of an ageist, but Brock looks good.
Looks amazing. He's still very intimidating. Still
very intimidating. Up next, we have the Intercontinental Women's Title match. Soruka, Becky Lynch. Soruka gets the dub, gets her title. Congratulations to Soruka. I'm a little afraid for Soda. I'm afraid that her Soul Snatcher. I feel like she's gonna have to change it up. Hitting it she's gonna have to figure out a different way to hit it from out, like just not in the corner anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's a little awkward. I'm not sure if it's just like she's not launching herself right. I'm not sure if people are just not standing in the right spot. Sometimes it looks awkward. Sometimes it looks really, really good. But it's a 50-50 where it's like it either hits or it doesn't.
Yeah, and it sucks that now we have that in the back of our mind because of how clean it was in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. She definitely needs to maybe change it up or maybe work on it. Maybe she's a little nervous, you know? I just hope that my fear with Soul is she wasn't really built up to champion. I feel like her promos are still a little one-dimensional, so it's kind of hard to get behind someone you don't really know about. So that's my kind of only issue with Soul. However, I'm hoping now that she's the champion, we get some storytelling with her because I like Soul. And once she cleans up that finish, she's money. I just think there's certain things she needs to work on. And I do feel was a little bit too quick putting the title on her. But it'll work.
Yeah, I wonder what the story is going to be now. I'm not sure if I'm still interested in Becky chasing the Intercontinental Championship anymore. She needs to move on. At the same time, I don't want to be as hard on as Soul as much as I feel like Becky also was gassed a little. Like I feel like there were some points where she couldn't just keep up, you know? And she, you know, Becky's got to be better with the spot calling. Shouting is the shouting is diabolical, man. It is diabolical. It is the other way here, over here, other way. Come on, we gotta get better.
Just do the leg drop, and somebody just yelling in the crowd.
Just go anyway. No, yeah, you know, it's just like, come on, Becky, we gotta be better. You're the vet. You got to be better. You got to like the ref. Everyone's got to be better in a situation like that because that should never happen.
I agree.
It should never happen because that's where you have the people we don't like in our circle. It's like, oh, see, they're calling out the spot. She has to tell her where to go. We don't want to invite those people.
We gotta keep kayfabe alive, man. That stuff doesn't happen. They're actually, that fucking leg drop could kill you. So
exactly. So she had to tell her where to be exactly.
Exactly. So it's like these people, they just don't get wrestling, Marcus. That's all it is. It's an art form, and if you look at it from different angles, you might see something different. It's just it's all about where you standing.
100%. Congratulations to Soruka. I'm
Hell
interested
yeah.
to see what you're about to do with the Intercontinental Championship. It's fresh. You're new, so she has a really big fan base as well too. So we'll see everything she's about to do. For Becky, like I said, I wanna see main roster. If you're gonna take some time off, honestly, send her to SmackDown. Something tells me Becky Rhea. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
I agree with that. Might as well.
Becky,
even though she was, had a title, had a lot of TV time, but she hasn't been in that main picture in a while. It's kind of more of like the upper mid card level part of the matchup. So yeah, I want to see big time Bex, the man, back on top. I love Rhea too, but give me big time Bex, man.
But like Mark says, in regards to Soul, I think she either needed to win the strap in her debut or have a solid main roster run before a title push. It comes off weird to put the belt on her at this point. Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. Mr. Kajira says, remember when Brock squashed Cena and they said it was whoever beat Brock looked extra strong? I think Cena always knew it was going to be Oba. I think Cena booked Oba. I think Cena said, no, not me, him. That guy. That guy right there. Whoever that guy is. Let's talk about the main event.
Let's do it. Who was the main event?
Come on now. You know who the main event was.
The Roman, the tribal chief. That's right.
The tribal chief. Put your ones up. Tribal Combat, the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns.
All the time.
Defends his title against Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
And he wins. And when they say you shouldn't make a sequel, this was one of those times right here. Not gonna lie. It was a good match. It was decent. It wasn't better than the first one.
Agreed. I agree. It wasn't better than the first one. However, it still worked. I did say a little earlier that it was my favorite match on that card, although it was super chaotic, weapons being involved, the whole thing, the whole line. However, some things were missing, some things were a little too much. However, I think it worked, and then kind of how they rolled everything over the following night on Raw, I think it worked well for me as a full story, and I love that we're still in the 5th inning with this Bloodline story. I could go another 10 years with it. For the matchup itself, I do appreciate the fact that Corey kept reminding us that Fatu's hand was injured, because I was kind of like confused to why the death grip wasn't as effective, and he kept saying that. I was like, okay, because again, leading up to it is like, as soon as it's applied, it's over. And Roman still sells it amazingly. Like, he still holds himself. He was like post match still kind of talking like with a raspy voice, and that's why he's a fucking tribal chief. 100%. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's in the Street Fighter. That's why he's going to continue doing what he's going to do, because the tribal chief is going to be the tribal chief for a long time, no matter who tries to dethrone him. So I'm just saying, for the matchup itself, super chaotic, but I enjoyed it because the tribal chief won. I could do this with him forever.
Hey, anytime Roman Reigns is winning, it's always a good time. I agree with you. Like I said, it was very chaotic. At first, you kind of thought, okay, let's put the title on Jacob. Let's see what could happen. Let's see what really, like, what's the real deal here. But then as the match goes on, you're like, nah, bro, this is Roman. We can't take the title off of Roman. What are we doing here? Nobody's gonna go to SummerSlam if Roman doesn't have the title. What's next for Roman now that he has Jacob Fatu in his corner?
That's honestly what I'm eager to see. I think Jacob plays the part for as long as he can until we start seeing maybe Solo appear or someone of that other faction. Because at the end of the day, as we all know, it wasn't Roman who brought in Jacob, it was Solo. So I'm eager to see kind of where they go with that. I'm thinking because I believe they teased it on Raw on one of the Raws. Like it was a quick little pass by between Seth and Roman. There will, I feel, always be enough meat on the bone for that feud. This feud is what, 12, 15 years? Maybe I'm a OD, 10, 12 years in the making. It's it's a it's so many things left on that feud that I need to see. And in my opinion, Seth still haven't paid the piper. He still needs to pay for a lot of the bullshit he put Roman through. He's the reason why Roman became the tribal chief. He was pushed.
That is 100%. You are right. You are right. I think Jey Uso is still pulling strings. I think somehow, some way they add Solo and his boys and jump Roman out.
Oh. And Jey Uso's the new tribal chief?
And Jey Uso is the new tribal chief.
Control over Big Jim, Solo, Jacob, and the tall guy? I forget his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Tama, right? Tama
Loa?
Tama Tonga? Because it's the Loa. Tama Tonga got released.
Okay, cool. So that's interesting. So let me ask you, Roman, if they do kick out Roman that way, is Roman still the champion?
Yeah, he'll still be champion until Jay. I guess maybe Jay takes it. I don't know what they're gonna do with the bloodline. Who's gonna destroy the bloodline now? Seth Rollins?
I feel the bloodline.
Chad Gable?
No, they can't keep breaking.
Fuck it, let's just throw Chad Gable and everything. Where's cheer him on?
Chad Gable was the savior. It's fucking Chad Gable. Tickets aren't selling. Just fucking put Chad on the card.
Okay, let's just throw Chad on the card. He's got this.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, tough to say. Maybe we get something where. No, that would suck. I'm not good at booking. I would listen. A few weeks ago, a channel asked me how long would I have my pay-per-views. I said 6 hours and like 12 matches. Don't ask me to book. Everyone would be overworked. The stories wouldn't make sense. Like it would be like, didn't this guy just have a match 3 matches ago?
Be like, yeah, what
yeah,
but we've been here for 4 hours. Only the 6 matches done. This is crazy.
No, it will be like 6 hours, 14 matches.
Everybody, we're gonna take a 24-hour intermission. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
and make sure you bring the same ticket. If you lose it, you're not coming in.
Hey, back then they used to have intermissions, man. So you know what? You wouldn't be doing anything too new. You know what I mean? I think that's diabolical to have an intermission during a wrestling show. It's crazy.
No, that would be that would suck.
You want me to leave and come back?
You know how far I just came from,
right,
like...
bro. Once I go home, I'm home. Those are the rules. You know what I mean? Oh man, overall, what do you rank Clash in Italy?
Oh shoot! Overall, Clash in Italy. So it was Cody Gunther, Rhea, Brock. So if I had to fucking a fair, I don't want to like be bad. I would say 7 out of 10. I feel is fair.
I agree with 7. I agree with 7. Any last takes? For Clash?
About Clash? It was. I just wanted the fans. Obviously, I always want to shout out great fans. That Italian crowd was amazing, singing Brock's song with no words. Like yo, that's amazing. And then on top of that, I believe in all of Brock's career to never have a match or performance in Italy was honestly pretty insane. It makes sense since he had so many gaps in his career. But it was, that fan base was amazing. I hope the WWE continues with the European tours and just touring in general, because outside of the US fan base, they're amazing. They don't get wrestling much. I feel like us here in, North America, we may be a little too catered to it, to where, look at me, I'm nitpicking shit about high octane athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys, they appreciate it for what it is, and they're fucking invested. So I just wanted to shout out the AAA fan base down in Mexico, and that Italian fan base, because great fan bases keep me watching at home invested into watching this.
100%. And I just want to say, my only note is Triple H. Hey, bro, take notes from your elders. Cause Shawn Michaels and Taker are cooking, bro.
Yeah.
They are cooking at their promotions.
Yep.
Take notes. Take notes or put them in charge. One or the other.
Before TKO does it. Before
TKO does it.
It's one of those
we
things.
Catching you on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Or Thursdays.
He has a matchup with like Mick Foley. And then it's like just revamp that rivalry. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's fuck it.
Man, we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk some AEW, and we still have to find the Zombie King. But we'll be right back.
Have you ever seen an ad on YouTube, think, wow, that's way too good to be true? Well, this one is completely 100%. 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! I took the bad guy's advice, went to SeatGeek and used 4 sides OTR and got these great seats for double or nothing. Would you rather be sitting closer to the ring or closer to the roof? Use this code and save today. Plenty more AEW events coming to your area. Just use SeatGeek.com. Like I said, type in 4 sides OTR.
That is such a great shot. That is such a great shot.
Shouts out to Rick 8-Bit. Follow Rick 8-Bit everywhere. He went with us to Double or Nothing, and he emailed me and said, hey, man, I did this for y'all. Shouts out to him for doing that. We truly appreciate it. So we will play it forever until he makes a new one. I'm just joking. Oh, man. Brother, you know what's crazy is that we don't have the 2 guys. Well, now Mike loves to talk AEW. We have the one guy who truly is like, AEW. Even though he truly loves it, everybody, Chano truly loves AEW. Don't let him lie to you.
He does.
He just has to pretend like he doesn't, because when he started the show, he didn't. So yeah, he's trying to keep that up, keep kayfabe alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk some AEW, bro, because I know you're an AEW fan, and a lot of people may not know that you're like a big AEW fan.
I love AEW. AEW, real quick. Love AEW. Not one more than the other. I just love the fact that AEW exposes me to so much other wrestling. When I got back into wrestling a few years ago, the WWE wasn't doing the AAA stuff yet and all that other stuff. So they were, Impact Wrestling at the time, CMLL, New Japan. I'm learning all these wrestlers and all this different style of wrestling, and I'm like, I missed out on so much. So yes, I just wanted to add on to what Marcus just said. I love AEW and everything it brings. And a lot of people like to criticize the storytelling. The storytelling isn't the best, but there is storytelling there, y'all. It's not just people fighting aimlessly.
And even if they are just having aimlessly matches, they're fucking good, okay?
that is true.
That is so good. Like, they're still good matches. Now, Dynamite was really good. We had MJF had his he called out the Bull Roosh. They had their match. MJF does retain with a referee stoppage or something like that.
Some submission, I believe it was.
Yeah, but the ref stopped, right? Because Roosh never technically tapped out. The ref said, he's done. He's done. The ref called it. He said he's done. So, which I love, because that technically doesn't take Roosh away from the main event card, because, like I said, he technically didn't tap out. Really, really good match. I don't think MJF misses. Roosh never misses too. People who don't understand how good Roosh is, I don't think there's a bad Roosh match. Like, he's that talented.
Yep.
He could be in the ring with anybody and make him look amazing.
Yep.
Winning or not winning. You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy. So it was really cool to see him do this. I'm really excited for him. I hope he gets some type of gold within this year or early next year. Just any kind of push. Your thoughts on the MJF Roosh match?
I enjoyed the matchup. I do also always enjoy Rush matches. Every time he does this little thing, like when you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I don't know if you ever seen. It's an old movie called Night School. I always think of the. There's a part where they're like in detention, and like the teacher says, "When you mess with the bull, you get the horn." So I always think of it as just saying it with an accent every time. I think of that old ass movie Night School I see with my uncle when I was a kid. But no, the matchup itself was dope. Roosh could go, as you mentioned. Roosh, again, every matchup I see from Roosh is one of those things like he could go against anyone and MJF could go against anyone. MJF has a unique style to where he could go against Lucha Libre, strong style, American style, and he could fucking keep up. It was a great matchup. You reminded me of the rest stoppage. For some reason, I thought that Roosh tapped. And as you said, it kept Roosh looking strong in a sense because it could set up maybe a rematch for down the line because at the end of the day, he never gave up. So maybe like a triple threat, fatal four-way, because you know AEW likes to make it a little messy.
That is very, very true. We had Mark Briscoe, Leo Rush had a match. That was a pretty good. Hey man, look, Leo Rush. I know Chano's not here once again. The kid's super talented, dude.
Bro, I fucking
good.
love the new Leo
The
Rush.
gimmick, like the wrestling's always been good, and I think anybody who's ever, if you ever watched Leo in the E or AEW, or even when he went to TNA, like Leo's always been good.
Yep.
And he was missing something, and it was just a gimmick. And he
Yep.
found it, man. He found it. This shit just clicks. It's freaky. It feels natural. It feels supernatural. And he clicks into both Leo Rush and then whatever he wants to call this just perfectly. You know, just perfectly.
It was that match. It was actually my favorite match on the card yesterday, just because it had the perfect blend of wrestling. Because Mark is also no slouch, and entertainment. Just like the one spot that I keep replaying is they're like yelling in each other's faces and just like smacking each other on the chest. I'm like, what is happening right? They're just smacking each other and yelling. And I'm like, this is fucking AEW. And post matchup, I think is the biggest takeaway from the matchup itself is Mark Briscoe cutting that promo. I thought it was unique just because Mark, I thought, okay, you know, it's like a regular post-match promo to the champion. But then Mark continued and got personal and reminded us of the shit that he went through and his brother and his journey. And it, again, as I mentioned a little earlier, AEW does have some compelling storytelling when they choose to bring it out. And Mark Briscoe is one of those guys, which is why he held a handful of mid-card belts. I would love to see Mark as, honestly, I don't know if this is a stretch, but I would like to see Mark as AEW champion before it's all said and done. Maybe like a Damian Priest-esque, you know, handful of months, something you could just say he was for a while. That was my biggest takeaway from that matchup, and probably most of the night was that Mark Briscoe promo, just because of how personal it felt and how he just took it to another level when I thought he was done.
Yep. So, hey, MJF's got a problem. You got Mark Briscoe on your case. Andrade had a match called out MJF. So now you got Andrade on your case. You got a Rush who didn't tap out, who's probably going to keep pushing that. Like, bro, I didn't tap out. We gotta run it again. So far, MJF has been in a nice little third title run. I want to pull up Kid Zero's comment here. He says, "Notice how Darby was main eventing with the title matches, and MJF is opening with the title matches, showing they are complete opposites." That's very true. MJF is big on, I'm going to wrestle, get out of here, and go home. Darby's like, I'm going to make you wait for me when you're really tired, and then I want to come out and have a 3-hour match, and I'm going to throw
wake
myself
y'all
through. Yep, wake y'all up, throw myself through 55 tables, 30 ladders, couple chairs. Do you think it's different? Do you like the fact that MJF starts his matches?
It's amazing that he brings that up. I have not noticed that. However, now that you guys just gave me that breakdown and just kind of pointed that out, I do love that. It shows that they're complete opposite. It shows that MJF is a heel. He doesn't care about. It's basically, he's playing the heel. He doesn't care about the company. He's going to do his job, beat the shit out of who he has to beat, and go home with the title. And whatever goes on with that show, he doesn't care because he has the belt and his check. And Darby is, and Darby's there. He's backstage and catering, maybe talking to the guys, maybe warming up, doing some stretches because he's the last act. So he has to stay there through the end. So I personally love that you guys just pointed that out. I love that.
No, yeah, I've always been a big fan of it too, and it's always one of those things too. As a fan, it's like, fuck, I missed it. Like I knew it's like one of those things too. It's back in the day, like Chana used to hate, like, I can't believe he started with that match. It's like, nah. It's like I like that he started with that match because if you weren't tuning in at the start, then you missed it.
Yes,
you missed
and
it.
That's
and
what makes you hate him.
Yep, and that's what makes you hate him because he fucking showed out at the beginning of the show. And you're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then at least me, it's like, why would they do that? Because you're like, why would they do it? You're upset. You're and that's his whole thing.
Time.
And it's not
and
even
like, I'm not gonna watch the show no more.
Yeah, and again,
right.
It's not even a gimmick with MJF. Like he's doing it on, like he truly doesn't care.
Kid has another comment here. I think that's a little outlandish. He said, Mark doesn't move the needle. You're crazy, man. Mark is awesome. Mark is awesome. You see him wrestle, you want to cheer for him.
I agree. I think
we had Thekla also did. Cher promo was crazy too. Stardom calling out whoever she wanted to call out. That was crazy.
Yeah, she called out like declared war on them. She called out like an entire promotion. I believe she was with Julia Hart and Sky Blue during the promo. It was
promoted Forbidden Door. I liked it.
Pretty intense. I dig it. I like the literal planting of the seeds. I don't think you can say planting seeds. They just fucking showed you the garden. It's like, yo.
Yeah. I like Thekla. Thecla's too cool, So it's just like she did it. I was like, yeah, it's badass. That's badass.
Yo, Thekla is amazing. The last handful of months, I've gotten way more familiar with her. I was unfamiliar with her before her arrival to AEW TV, and man, I'm sold. Double or Nothing, I thought was a good showing out for her. Me seeing her for the first time live, I think she should remain with that title for a minute. I think she's the perfect women's champion at the moment.
At the moment. TNT Championship. We saw the turn live. We saw Mike Bailey get upset the week prior. Now they have this match. And now all of a sudden, actually, can we have a discussion real quick, T? Let's have a discussion, bro. Because I like Kevin Knight, bro. I really do. But let's be real. Are you dropping Takeshita out of your family for Kevin Knight? You could make it work between him and Okada after the match. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have no words. Like, Kevin Knight is no scrub. Kevin Knight is super, super talented. They obviously see a future in him if they're going to put him in the Don Callis family, since there's 16 members and they're always going to have TV time since they occupy half the roster. So it just, no. However, if they played their cards right, it was a nice turn. I was not expecting it. I remember I believe Nitram was also caught off guard by that turn. It had a lot of shock value. He beat up on his friend last night, retaining his title. So if they play their cards right, they could potentially make Kevin Knight a big star. So I'm not completely mad at it. But no, I wouldn't drop Takeshita for him.
I'm just sitting there and I'm like, all right. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, look, I've argued with my brothers. I fought with my brothers. We made it work afterwards. You know what I mean? If I won, they won. Who cares? You made it work afterwards. You know what I mean? We're still family. I'm not gonna drop my brother and go pick up another brother.
Go pick up another brother.
That's not as. I don't want to say that's not as good as my brother. You know what I mean? Because they're both talented, but I'm not. I'm with you, man. I'm not dropping Takeshita for Kevin Knight.
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, look, it's a decent push for the guy. I'm not a Kevin Knight hater, but I'm also not too big on him either. I still not really behind whatever. Like I don't love or hate him, and any type of reaction is better than no reaction. And right now I'm in the no reaction place. Need a little bit more heat for him, I think, and maybe then I'll have some
Yeah.
more reaction towards it.
And I'm a huge fan on the Don Callis family, but this is the one guy I think doesn't need the Don Callis family. He's good on it. Everybody else is perfect for the family. It makes sense. Perfect. Kevin doesn't make sense for me right now.
Unless all their chips are on the table and they feel like he could be the next main champion, maybe have that TNT belt and I don't know, the AEW title or something like that, then maybe that'll definitely, because at the end of the day, AEW does maybe need to start making some new household names. We have the Swerves, the Andrades, the Omegas, the Ospreys. But there's some of the maybe lower tier guys who need to step it up a notch to make it to that top tier. Because it's only really in terms of a young stars is what MJF, Darby Allin, Will. I don't know where the hell Adam Page is. So it's they need to start elevating some of their stars. So we'll see what's up with Kevin. Maybe he'll end up being one of our favorites down the line, Marcus. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see. The Owen Hart Women's Quarterfinal Tournament. Alex Windsor, JPW Strong Women's Champ, right? Had the wild card. And I think, you know what? It's fair to say to everybody that thought she was pregnant, she proved y'all wrong.
That's right.
Because Miss Money is back. Mercedes Moné, CEO. Honestly, I'm like, damn, she would debut when the Knicks are playing because she's a fucking Celtics fan. And she did it on purpose. I knew she did it on purpose to us. I'm calling her out. She did it on purpose because she's from Boston. But it's okay.
She 1000% did.
It's okay.
It's so funny because at that point of the card, I was going back because at that point it was past halftime. So I was going back and forth between wrestling and the NBA. When I go back, it's Mercedes, and I'm watching. I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, oh shit, that's Mercedes. And then I'm like, she's going against Winslow, and I like Winslow. Yeah. It was a cool matchup. Mercedes didn't look off, at least to me. She looked great. Like she didn't look rusty. I can't really say like, hey, this looked a little whatever. No, everything looked fine. I feel as soon as she came out, everyone watching at home and the crowd there at the show knew that she would win. You're not going to bring her as a wild card. Haven't been on AEW TV for a little minute to lose to Winslow, even though Winslow's cool. And I think this is for Mercedes to win. In my opinion, I think this is for Mercedes to take home.
Yep, I agree. So I agree with you, and I think I'm with Kid Zero right here too. I think Mercedes is going to beat Thekla, and she's going to become AEW Women's Champion.
Yep,
for the first time. First time, because everybody was saying, well, once she got there, they're gonna make her champion. You know what? She didn't become champion. She had two title shots. She lost both of them. She went and put everybody and their mama over. She went to these other indies and put their mama over. They went to these lower indies and put their mama over. And now she's back.
Yep.
Now she needs to get what's hers. And I like it. And the men's tournament semi-final for the Owen Hart. I can't talk tonight. Owen Hart Foundation. Will Ospreay and Mark Davis, man. This was a really good match. And the chemistry on these two, the chemistry on these two is obviously phenomenal because they train together, they were in a faction together.
Yep.
So they already know how one and one is. This match was really, really good. Obviously, Ospreay was going to win. We knew this. I think everybody is fair enough to say it. If Ospreay doesn't win the tournament, I'd be very, very shocked.
So I will say this: in the back of my mind, I like yourself, like most people, knew Ospreay was going to win. However, two spots, lying to you, one spot that I could think of now, but I know there were two. There was two spots that in that matchup, I'm like, it is over for Will. And it was when Mark, he hit him with like a reverse power driver, and fucking Will's legs were just like stiff like this, and they just fall, and he like pinned him, and it was 1, 2, right here, right there, freaking kicks out. So that moment, I'm like, holy shit, it could be like a quick little upset. Maybe Mark Davis wins, Will Ospreay crashes out, and it's more of a heelless Ospreay with the Death Riders. And I'm only bringing up the Death Riders because I'm still confused with the whole thing, if they're like good guys or bad guys. However, it was a good matchup. Will could do his thing, and he won by submission. Was it submission? So again, adding to the arsenal, it's kind of a perfect blend of his high flying stuff or whatever he's learning with Moxley and the Death Riders. So good matchup. And Mark could go, man. I knew Mark Davis was a good wrestler, but he could go.
No, yeah, Mark can go. When he got hurt, I felt for him. I was like, damn, he's hurt, but it's what Kyle Fletcher needed. Honestly, I'm happy that all three of these guys, they came in together. Now all three, I think everybody knew Ospreay was going to go do the solo thing anyway. But the fact that these two are carrying their own solo careers after being in such a successful, dominant tag team at such a young age, is just really light at the end of the tunnel for all of them, man. You just love to see it. You truly, truly do. And if Ospreay, like I said, if Ospreay doesn't win this tournament, man,
we riot.
I would be extremely shocked.
Yeah, it's for him to it's his to win. However, Tony likes surprises. TK loves the surprises, and when there's writing on the wall so clearly, it's one of those things where they could kind of smear it up and
but I mean,
a little different.
You would have
you
to
can't do that with Will. Please, not with Will.
If MJF beats a Bane-like version of Will Ospreay at Wembley, what the fuck is next for MJF, bro? Like that's my man could retire. He doesn't have to do anything else in professional wrestling.
Literally.
Besides probably go beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I think we are gonna get the true assassin, Will Ospreay. He's about to start taking some people out.
Yep. You know what would also be a big matchup? I was looking forward to it because you mentioned a crossover matchup. I was looking forward towards that MJF Nick Nemeth matchup that was supposed to be a thing. I believe it was going to be in New York, and brother, I was gonna call out same day. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to this shit. 2 hours, an hour before the shift. I'll sign the write up when I come back. Like, I was gonna go. However, that didn't come into fruition. But I do agree with you, Marcus. It is Ospreay's to win. MJF, he wins is what, like you just said, man. What else is there for him other than like a hiatus, and maybe he comes back in like a year and wants gold again? But
like Jay White, whenever he decides to come back, who knows?
Fucking another person I forgot about. Is he injured? Is that what it is?
I think the Blade and his tag team partner, they just became free agents.
Ah, shoot, man, damn.
I really like them too.
I know Channel's a big Jay White guy.
Yeah, I know he is a big Jay White guy. So who knows what happens to him? Hopefully he comes back. But Tino, my guy, dude, it's always a pleasure. Every week we get to talk wrestling.
Fuck yeah.
Tell our ringsiders where they can find you while we get up out of here, my guy.
Hey, y'all can catch me on Twitter and TikTok. Those are the only two shows you can find me on. That is at King of Groove 16. Once again, that is at King of Groove 16. You can catch me here every week. It doesn't matter who else is with me. Just know the Last Keeper of Kayfabe is going to be here to keep Kayfabe alive. Mark the calendar. Who else is going to let you know about this wrestling history every week? I know Channel's not. All right. So I'm your guy. I will be here every Thursday talking with the boys. Make sure you check us out on all social media platforms. 4 sides in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. And that's just what happens, baby. 4 sides. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. You can follow me at the Founder MH, but most importantly, follow us on all of our social media platforms. 4 Sides of the Ring podcast on IG, 4 Sides OTR on X. I am the founder, Markus Hernandez. I am with the Last Keeper of Kayfabe. Taino. Chano says hello. Mike says hello. Nickram says hello. Brandy says hello. The Zombie King says hello. You could also find the Zombie King. We didn't do it this week. Chano's gonna be like, y'all didn't do the Find the Zombie King. How are people supposed to know where to find the Zombie King? Well, you can find the Zombie King at Wrestling Is Now, June 27th. VIP $100. We don't know what it is, but it includes 4 tickets, a signed poster, and a backstage experience like no other.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Skywalker, Chris Rex, over for you. The Roku champion is about to be the one and only Zombie King.
Oh yeah.
And if it's not, we riot.
That's right. I will try my best to be there, folks. And if I'm there, y'all will be the first to know. Till next week.
Till next week. And never forget, Nixon fucking 6, baby. Enjoy wrestling. Because if you're not, you're not watching it right. Deuces.